Most people drive past this ditch every day without a second glance, but today I stopped, and what I pulled out of the trash became an entire ecosystem. Inside that pile of roadside garbage, I found something that made me question how we overlook the life that's right in front of us. I was on a walk and came across a ditch that had flooded from all the rain. I love aquatic life, so naturally I started looking in the ditch, and I was seeing all kinds of little creatures squirming and swimming in this nasty water. So I ran home and grabbed a fishnet and a couple of jars to see what I could catch to try and build a tiny ecosystem. The first thing I caught was this frog, but I let him go because he would be way too big for the ecosystem I'm trying to build. I only brought a tiny shrimp net, so it made things a little difficult, but I started by catching a diving beetle, which would probably be the predator of this ecosystem. Next I netted a snail that was pretty large, and I was excited to see what he would look like in the setup. Then something crazy caught my eye. An orange thing that looked like an alien was swimming around, so I scooped it up and added it to the jar. And then a few seconds later, I saw another one, and scooped that up as well. I was getting some awesome stuff, and honestly I was super excited with how this was going. It was blowing my mind that so many little creatures could survive in water this polluted. After netting for quite a while, I thought I only collected 4 or 5 creatures, so I packed up my main jar and some other jars that I filled with substrate, sticks, and mud and headed home. My plan was to add everything from the smaller jars I collected into one bigger jar once I got home. I didn't know it at the time, but I caught lots more than I thought I did, and pretty soon I'd have an ecosystem teeming with life and biodiversity. I started by placing the 3 jars on my counter so I could get an eye on everything under some light. It was pretty difficult to see anything in the 2 jars that were more stirred up, and I didn't really think anything was living in them. But as we'll see in a few minutes here, I caught way more than I anticipated without even realizing it. I grabbed a clean 1-gallon jar where I would mix everything together. I started off by pouring in everything from the dirty jars first because they were full of sticks, leaves, and mud, which would become the ground floor for this ecosystem. After everything from those 2 jars was poured in, I filled the rest of the jar up with dechlorinated water to help dilute some of the clay and mud that got stirred up. As you can see, this water is pitch black and probably not the healthiest for all of our creatures to be swimming around in just yet. So with the magic of editing, I can snap my fingers and we can clear it up quick. Now that the water looks more like what they're currently swimming in, we can go ahead and take the lid off our main jar, grab our creatures, and pour them into a net. I would have just dumped them directly into the jar, but I didn't want to stir up all that clay again. I carefully dropped everything into their new home, and they seem to be happy and healthy so far. But I knew that a true ecosystem has predators and prey, so things could get dicey at any moment. To put the finishing touches on this build, I grabbed a leaf that got left behind and dropped it in, as well as this tiny snail that tried hiding. Now that everything was in, we could seal off the jar and move it to my room where it can have constant light and hopefully we can see some algae or plants grow. Right away I was noticing things in the jar that I definitely did not catch with the net, like these tiny red water mites that were swimming all over the place, or these different types of microfauna. As I was looking closely at the jar, I noticed something that looked like an alien. I don't know where it came from, but it looked mean. After doing some research, I learned that this thing was called a Hellgramite, and they are in fact very mean. I was reading an article about them, and it said they're known to bite humans on occasion. And if you're scared of bugs, close your eyes for a second, because this is what they turn into once they grow past the larva stage. I don't know about you, but my skin was crawling researching this. Stay tuned because later in this video, I catch this guy attacking a worm. It was crazy to me how much life was really in this jar. I was filming one of the pond snails that I remember catching, but then there was what seemed like hundreds of tiny seed shrimp and microfauna that were just casually swimming by. The diving beetle finally showed up so I could get a good shot of him, but he's pretty camera shy, and anytime I would hit record, he seemed to swim off. I don't know if it's just me, but I was starting to find some of these little creatures kinda cute, like this tiny worm. If you look closely, you can see its little mouth just moving along, eating and trying to grow. Or this snail that was so small, but had little algae bits growing on his shell. And he seemed to have befriended a tiny microfauna. There was also lots of mosquito larvae, and when I put a light behind the jar, you could see its little organs pumping and his mouth moving. More than likely, they would turn into food for the diving beetle, Hellgramite, and whatever else might be in the jar. Speaking of the Hellgramite, I was filming this worm that made its way into the jar, and I noticed he was inching closer, like he was stalking the worm. Eventually, he got really close and wrapped his pinchers around the worm. I knew this was trouble. Once the pinchers were in place, there was no way the worm could escape without bracing for impact. After a few seconds, snap. He took a bite, and the worm wiggled away, just barely escaping with his life. Now I was certain this guy was going to be a problem. I wasn't sure if he was going to kill everything in the jar or not, so I had my eyes on him. Thankfully, after doing some research, I learned that worms most likely don't feel pain. Now for the fairy shrimp. These things were fascinating to look at, and I've actually always considered making a YouTube video solely on these guys, so I was super excited to see them in the wild. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to last long in this jar because of all the predators that they'll have to dodge. Now I'll put a lot of light on this jar for a few weeks, and we'll check back in once it establishes a little more. Roughly 2 weeks later, the jar was growing a lot of algae, which I was glad because it probably helped feed some of the creatures in here. There was also duckweed starting to grow at the surface, which helps filter the water a little bit. All good signs of natural growth. I couldn't figure out what this thing was, but if anyone knows, comment down below. The diving beetle was still camera shy, and when I zoomed in on him, he took off as fast as he could, kicking up dust in the process. Sadly, only one of the fairy shrimp was still kicking. I don't know if the others were eaten or if they just died, because I read their lifespan is only a few weeks long. The biggest of the snails was finally out and about, which was pretty rare because the majority of the times I would look in the jar, he would just be hiding in his shell. I figured the food supply was getting relatively low in the jar, so I popped some frozen bloodworms into a cup, thawed them out, and got ready to drop them in so I could see what was hungry. As I added them in, I figured these worms would get swarmed by the beetle, the Hellgramite, and some of the larvae. But I guess I was wrong because the only things that seemed interested was one of the small pond snails and some of the microfauna. But I think the smell of the worms did wake up one of the creatures that I had yet to notice. Looking right here, you can't really tell what it is, but you can see a pile of sticks moving. Eventually that pile of sticks turned around and a little larva popped out to say hello. I did some research and learned that these things make themselves a tiny home to hide out in while they live underwater. It was crazy to me that 2 weeks later I was still finding new creatures that I didn't even realize were in there on day one. So there we have it. 2 weeks ago I took a walk down the road, and with a few scoops of a net into a gross ditch, I caught dozens of different creatures that I never heard of or even knew existed. It's so fascinating how many different creatures are all over the world in places you least expect. Thanks a ton for watching, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. This video is quite different from what I usually do, but if you enjoyed this style, comment down below to let me know if I should do something similar to this in the future. Also, I want to take a second to say thank you guys for all the support on my videos, and to let you guys know I read every single comment and try my best to answer each one. I also seriously consider your guys' ideas for videos, so if you have a unique build you'd want me to try, or a crazy fish or creature you'd want me to buy, drop that down in the comments because it helps me out a lot coming up with ideas. Alright, I'll quit talking now. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.